So we got our player to be controllable around the screen, and the sensing sprites are all in the correct position, and they move around with the character as well. But there is a problem, and I want to demonstrate it for you right now. You can see right now that the bottom sprite is right below his left or his right foot, his bottom right, and so are all of these other ones. They're all located around the player. Like you can see this one's right here, right below his cape, and that's the left sensor. And now if I scroll up to the top of the screen, then my player is going to go off the screen, and that's like the limit. That's how like far the sprites can go off the screen on Scratch, right? And when I do that, and then I come back here, if I go ahead and look at my top sprite, you can see it's right here in the center of the character. Do you see that? It's right there. And if I do top right, you can see right here, it's right next. It's like it's if it's been smushed down, right? And same thing happens with my bottom sprite. So my bottom sprites also get smushed upward. Okay. So we need to fix this problem. And one of the ways that we can fix this problem of the sensors being smushed out of whack when the character goes to the top of the screen like that, or the sides of the screen, or the bottom of the screen when he goes off the side of the screen, is that we can limit the movement of the character so that he cannot go higher than that position on the Y, right? No higher than 155 on the Y position, and no lower than negative 169 on the Y position, no lower than negative 35 on the, oh, I'm sorry, that's the Y position, negative 220 on the X position, and no higher than positive 220 on the X position. So how do we do that? Well, if we look at our character, we have all of these blocks of code which trigger the position to move when you hit A, D, S, and W. And so what we can do is we can add a conditional statement in here, and we can say only change the X when you're pressing the A button if, right? And so only change it to negative if you are greater than, and whoa, so let me get this all spaced out a little bit better. So only move down, so A is moving to the left, so it's going that way. Only do this if the X position, we go to motion, X position of the character is greater than negative 220. Alright, so let's go ahead and test that out and see what happens. I'm going to press my A button, and the character is going to move to the right, but he doesn't move farther than this position. And that's what we want. We want to limit the character's movement, right? So that these little sensor blocks don't get smushed towards the center of the character. And we want to do the same thing for the top, the right side, and the bottom. And I'm going to leave that as a challenge exercise where you're going to implement this method of adding an if statement around the action that happens when you press a key.